So again, a solution to a problem. We've got a leaking radiator. The radiator is leaking on the valve here, so we need to remove this leg, this tail, because the likelihood is that the seal in here has failed. So we need to take it off to either be able to tighten it up, remove it, inspect it. So we'll go through a few stages here. The first one is removing the plastic pipe. Ever so simple on these push fit fittings. Just reach underneath, squeeze the collet up and pull the pipe down, and the pipe will just come out. Now you're likely to get some drip in here, so having some sort of tray or Mop It Up products under there will work really well. You then need to undo this nut in order to remove this valve. The problem with that is, if you use a standard pair of water pump pliers or these sorts of things, they mark these copper fittings. So we'll do a close-up in a little while and we'll cut that in, but you can actually see where this is marked here. Monument do a specific plastic jawed water pump plier. So again, it's adjustable. You're about to this size. You can mount it onto the nut, engages, and then you can undo it. But again, it's moving this valve here, so how do you keep your hands on it? Again, another really clever tool from Monument is the rad wrench. This fits up underneath. It's plastic again, engages the body and allows you then with two hands to move the units away from each other. All you need to do then is loosen the nut, and it can be done by hand, and off that comes. So as we said, we'd cut into a close-up here. What you've got is a marked hex head there. Someone's used some of these sorts of grips with metal teeth, and it's taken the chrome plating off the tail. So what we would always suggest you use in this situation is a plastic jawed wrench. That way it's not actually going to mark the fitting, but it'll still allow you to engage that. The problem we've got now is we've got a captive nut here. Hidden away in here where you can't actually see is one of those copper olives. So this is a great time to use the Monument olive puller. So that engages in the pipe at the end. You pull the captive nut forward, screw this brass collar all the way forward till it engages the nut, and then simply by rotating this handle here and drawing that away from the body of the tap, forgive the squeaking, what that's doing is dragging that copper olive off the pipe without actually causing any damage to the pipe. It does take a little while, but it's the right way to do it so you're not damaging anything. You get to a point here towards the end where just one last turn, fingers crossed, and off it pops. So you now unscrew that, and what you can see is the olive. That's captive in there. So now we've actually got the tail where it's leaking. Now again, you've got a couple of choices here. You can either use something like the plastic jawed water pump wrench, engage that and undo it. But what we've got here, and the Grip Plus range that we spoke about earlier, so this is the basin headed wrench. We do a specific tool, which is a TRV, thermostatic radiator valve driver. Fits into the standard basin wrench head, slips over the top, and is specifically designed for removing that tail. So again, disengage it, finger tight. We can now remove that valve. Inspect, more PTFE tape, that's what the problem is. Re-engage that and then just reverse the whole process. In finger tight, tighten up with the basin wrench head, re-engage the nut, fresh olive, radiator valve, tighten that one up by hand, and again, so that you've not got to clamp this with anything that will mark it, the rad wrench. Forgive me, I'm right-handed and I'm working left-handed here, but you can then work with that wrench and tighten that valve, and away you go, and the valve's been replaced.